As promised, today I'm going to share my experience with a 36-hour fast from Saturday evening till Monday morning and a 3.5-day fast from Thursday evening till Monday morning. In my previous video, I covered fasting principle, possible symptoms, hows, whens and whats, hazards, and how to come out of a fast. Before you try to attempt what I did, definitely go and watch this video first, as I will not repeat this crucial information here. As a reminder, you can go and download the PDF with an efficient summary of my previous Fasting 101 video, as well as some extras like a list of fruit and vegetable juices you should drink to support specific organs and deal with specific conditions, plus a master cleanser recipe and autumn rejuvenation cleansing soup recipe. In today's video, I'll cover why I tried the fasts, what I consumed during the fasts, which symptoms I developed, how hard or easy it was for me, how I came out of the fasts, and the benefits I experienced. As background info, I had never done fasts as long before. The longest had been a 19-hour one. However, I do 13-14 hours of intermittent fasting daily. Okay, let's start with a 36-hour fast. Well, technically it was 38.5 hours, as I finished eating by 8 p.m. on Saturday and ate again at 10:30 a.m. on Monday. It was totally spontaneous. I had once again read about the benefits of fasting. Check my previous video to learn more, especially water fast, and felt motivated to give my digestive system a rest so that my body can better deal with other areas of concern. Now, it's the most beneficial if you go on for 3 days, but there are already huge benefits if you are able to do it for 24 to 36 hours. So I woke up on a Sunday morning and decided I wouldn't eat that day and see how I feel the next morning to decide on the continuation. An important side note. I can do that because my diet is overall very clean with no stimulating substances like alcohol, coffee or nicotine, and refined foods like white flour, sugars and overly oily salty foods. Should your diet be more tilted towards the SAD diet or simply consisting of refined foods, animal products and or coffee and alcohol, it's wise to ease into the fast as described in my previous video. During the 36 hours, I drank in total 3.2 liters of liquids, that is 9 glasses of water, 3 of which with added lemon juice, plus 2 huge cups of herbal teas, ginger and peppermint. My glass fits 270 milliliters and my huge cup is 414 milliliters. I started my morning as usual with 1 glass of lemon water, followed by another glass of regular filtered water. Then I followed my morning routine and felt all right. I even did my nutrition studies test that morning. After that, I went for a forest walk to breathe in all the goodness. I felt a little weaker than usual and didn't overstretch it. When I finished the walk, I felt a headache coming and some pressure in my head. When I got back home, I watched a summit for some time while sipping on a big mug of peppermint tea until about 3:30 p.m., when I simply couldn't stay upright anymore and lay down for a couple of hours, most of the time sleeping, but also some meditating. The headache was quite intense by that time. I got up around 5:30, had a glass of water and simmered myself a big mug of ginger tea. The headache cleared up a bit after I'd been up for a while. The hunger was real by that time. My esophagus and stomach were cramping and I felt like crap, with zero energy. I watched some Netflix, an hour and a half or so, and soon went to bed to read. However, I couldn't fall asleep because my stomach hurt. For the first time in my 43 years on this planet, I felt what it's like to go to bed hungry. When I was almost asleep, my kid felt sick with a headache and started to vomit. So there was that to deal with. Hubby was a great help, of course. I just had to rub my kid's temples with peppermint oil mixture, which usually helps him quite quickly. Finally, the morning came. Now, I track my sleep with the Aura ring. Usually, I get 1.5 to 2 hours of deep sleep every night. This was the first night when I got a big 0, and I felt like it. Other symptoms that I had. Since the evening, I'd been having a slight metallic taste in my mouth, and my tongue had a bit of white covering. Then, of course, there was the headache, dizziness, hunger, weakness, and my whole body just felt so heavy, like my limbs and head were made of metal. However, when I started with my morning rituals and had my lemon water, I even considered continuing the fast, except for adding some cucumber juice. But my stomach pain worsened suddenly, and I decided it was time to eat, and had a smaller portion of my usual chia blueberry breakfast bowl. Soon after that, I started to feel the energy again. In the early evening, I prepared a green smoothie with cucumber, celery, parsley, orange, banana, spinach, lemon juice, and avocado. Later, I nibbled on some raw veggies and had a simple chia pudding to end the day. Overall, for the most part of the fast day, I felt very weak, like I was sick, and I wasn't sure why I'm doing this to myself. But then I remembered why I wanted to try it out and kept going. I knew that I couldn't make any conclusions with such a short fast and had already decided to try a longer 3-day fast soon. So I ended the 36-hour fast on Monday and continued to eat lighter than usual during the next few days. On Thursday evening, I had a bit too much to eat and felt kind of heavy on Friday morning. So I decided it was time for another go. Make sure you go and watch my Fasting 101 video to learn how often it is okay to fast, when's the most suitable time, and who should not fast. It's easy to abuse fasting and end up with nutritional deficiencies. Moving on. This time, with a 3-day fast, I included diluted vegetable juices and plain broth to my fasting menu. Also, I didn't start the fast with 3 days in mind. Instead, I decided to go with the flow and follow my instincts. The first day was Friday. In the morning, I felt very good and wasn't even hungry. I went through my morning rituals and then chose 3 carrots and a small bunch of celery, as well as 2 long cucumbers for the day. It made about 800 milliliters of juice that I kept in the fridge and diluted with filtered water in the ratio 1:1. Around 11, we left home with the fam to attend my son's 5th grade graduation ceremony, picking up vegan pretzels for his class on the way. It didn't bother me at all to see everyone eating the baked goods. A side note about the environment I did a 3-day fast in. It was at home while the boys were having their numerous meals in front of me, and it really seemed that they were eating all the time. So we got home around 2:30. I felt a bit off out of space, but overall all right. About half an hour later, I started to feel slight pressure in my forehead. I had a lie down from 3 to 4:15 p.m. and continued with diluted juice until 6:30. My last drink was a huge cup of peppermint tea at 7:30 p.m., by which time the headache had grown worse, and I was quite dizzy as well as with very little energy. And of course, there was also hunger. Overall, during the first day, I drank 3,114 milliliters of liquids, 1 glass of lemon water, 6 glasses of diluted juice, half water, 3 glasses of regular filtered water, and 1 huge cup of peppermint tea. To my surprise, the night was pretty good. The hunger subsided and I slept with no interruptions until 4 a.m. when I woke up feeling quite hollow. I waited for the sensation to go away, but it didn't, so I went downstairs and drank a glass of water. Soon after that, I fell asleep again and slept until almost 8 a.m., including 1 hour and 40 minutes of deep sleep, which is good. As I felt all right in the morning, I decided I'd do another day unless I developed sudden adverse symptoms like the stomachache during the previous fast. During the 36-hour fast, I didn't take any nutritional supplements as it was only one day, but now going longer and having experienced some muscle cramps at night, I decided to include some mineral and vitamin supplementation. So first thing in the morning, with the first glass of lemon water, I swallowed calcium, magnesium and zinc. Then I made my juice for the day and took B complex, K2 and algae-based EPA and DHA as well. I continued to feel good, so we went cycling and swimming and soaked up some sun and vitamin D for that matter on the beach. During the cycling and swimming, I felt totally normal like I had eaten that day. Being outside in the sun energized me quite a bit. By the way, I had last swam on Thursday before the fast, and my bikini bottoms were flapping around me while swimming, meaning I had shrunk a bit. We got home around 2 p.m., and as I hadn't gone to the toilet that day, I decided to support the colon cleanse by adding a tablespoon of psyllium husks to my diluted juice, along with a teaspoon of kelp powder for some amino acids. I really didn't want my body to start dismantling my muscle mass. I took another B complex vitamin as well, as it's better to distribute those throughout the day. The boys went out for a very yummy vegan pizza, and I had enough energy to do some studying. In fact, I was still at it when they got home at 4 p.m. However, soon after that, I felt tired and lay down for an hour. In the evening, I added 1 tablespoon of whole chia seeds instead of psyllium to my glass of diluted juice. If you don't chew them, they go straight through you. Around 7 p.m., I started to feel hungry again and was a bit weak as well. I finished consuming my liquids at 7:30 p.m. with a huge mug of organic broth. That is, I added half tablespoon of raw powder to hot water. That warmed me up quite well and created a sense of fullness for a while. In total, during day 2, I drank 3,654 milliliters of liquids, 2 glasses of lemon water, 6 glasses of diluted juice, half water, 1 with psyllium and kelp and 1 with chia seeds, 4 glasses of regular filtered water and 1 huge cup of broth. It was a sunny and warm evening, so I sat on the balcony in the sun for a while, and it seemed to give me energy. I was feeling all right and had a nice chat with my son. I had a bit of trouble falling asleep because my bowels felt full. I hadn't eliminated that day. I could feel that there's stuff that needs to get out. I massaged my stomach and decided to do something about it the next day. I finally fell soundly asleep around midnight and slept quite well until 7, with 2 hours of deep sleep. Great. When I woke up, still in bed, I felt all right with no extreme hunger or anything, but when I stood up, I realized how weak I was. It required quite a bit of effort to go through my morning routine and chores. To stimulate bowel movement, I drank 2 glasses of lemon water using a whole huge lemon and took 360 milligrams of magnesium as well. About 5 minutes later, I was in the toilet. However, I felt that there's still some stuff in my bowels, so I decided to get a laxative tea and consume that later. By 10:40, I was extremely weak, but started to feel a bit better after sipping on diluted juice. I had high hopes regarding cycling and swimming again on that day. However, I admitted that I had no energy to do that. We had some shopping to do, and I distracted myself by going with my hubby. I even managed to carry some bags up to the 5th floor apartment. I'd also bought senna tea from the pharmacy and drank that when I got home. After that, I tried to study a bit, but simply couldn't, so I lay down at 2:30 and I fell asleep for 2 hours, unable to crawl out of bed for another hour after that. I had very bad balance, even when lying down. Shivers. It was warm day, but I had to put wool socks on and a blanket over me, and I was still shivering. I felt very heavy and hungry. Even turning onto the other side was an effort requiring a transition time on the back. I got up around 5:30 p.m. to consume more liquids and some more senna tea as the first dose didn't do anything. At 7 p.m., I had a huge cup of broth to fill me with some warmth. By 9, I was in bed, read a bit, and then tried to fall asleep. It took some time, but the hunger subsided again by around 9:30 and I was able to sleep. I woke up at around 3:30 a.m. with extreme hunger and drank a glass of water hoping it helped as it had done 2 nights ago. I tried to fall asleep again after that, but it wouldn't work. The hunger persisted. On top of that, I started to feel nauseous as well. Decided to read a bit, but had to stop a little before 5 a.m. as the nausea didn't let me concentrate, so I tried to lie still and breathe. I even managed to sleep a short while, but decided to get up at 6 and start with the liquids and preparations to eat. I barely had any deep sleep that night. When I got out of the bed, I was extremely weak and nauseous. It was so hard to move my legs and arms, so I took it very slow, somehow made it to the toilet to pee and brush my teeth. And absolutely no Tibetan hormonal gymnastics this morning. I stumbled downstairs and first had to feed the cat, then squeezed another lemon to drink 2 glasses of lemon water with magnesium to stimulate my bowel movement again. The tea hadn't worked, not even during the night. Just after midnight, I had a bit of stomach cramps, but then when I rushed to the toilet, I simply passed some wind. Oh boy, it was so difficult to get those lemon waters down because of nausea. I really thought I was going to throw up then and there, and even felt like fainting, which is a clear sign that it was about time to end this fast. Somehow I managed to drink it all and stumbled to a chair, lifted my legs up and supported the head with my hands, closed my eyes, took deep breaths and waited for it to pass. Slowly, life started to come back into me and I didn't feel like fainting anymore, thank God. After about 10 minutes, I opened my computer and checked the emails, wrote and sent out a newsletter. It took about half an hour for the lemon water and magnesium to take effect, but it finally did and I had an elimination. Then I slowly sipped a glass of pure veggie juice to see how it acts in my stomach and poured myself another slightly diluted glass, but couldn't finish it as nausea kicked in again. Finally, at 8:40, I fixed my brekkie bowl with wild blueberries, ground chia and flax seeds, plant milk, soy yogurt, turmeric, ginger and cinnamon. I started to eat it very slowly, chewing carefully and observing my body. I had eaten about 3/4 when I felt that that's the limit and paused. Did some other stuff for a while and finished the brekkie about 20 minutes later. Everything was okay with the digestion, it felt good. Oh boy, how I appreciated this meal. My legs still felt kind of weak and there was some muscle cramping. A few hours later, I had a matcha latte with a bit of oat milk and this was fine as well. I went to the toilet once more and it seemed that the tea finally had some laxative effect. I had scheduled a qigong practice for 12 that day with my hubby, and it looked like I'd be able to attend after all. I did have some minor balance issues during the practice. Other than that, it was okay. When I got home from qigong, I made a green smoothie with cucumber, celery, banana, orange, spinach, romaine lettuce, wheatgrass powder, spirulina, avocado, and broccoli sprouts. A small bowl was enough, I added some soaked sunflower seeds to be able to chew the smoothie bites before swallowing. The same morning, I'd already baked my sprouted buckwheat and lentil bread, and I had 2 slices with soybean hummus and radish sprouts. I went really slow with the eating and chewed very thoroughly. And then I got cracking with work. Now, my mind was so clear and I had energy I hadn't felt in the past 3 days. I was in a good flow, writing 3 pages of video script almost in one go. I had another small matcha latte and a small piece of dark chocolate around 4 p.m. and continued working until about 6:30. And I wasn't tired. I had plenty of energy and felt like baking. I had all this carrot pulp from making juice for 3 days. My juicer is not very good one, so it leaves quite a moist pulp even after I squeeze out as much as I can from it after removing it from the juicer. So I didn't want it to go to waste and had carrot cake in mind. I made it with soaked raw buckwheat and millet, dates, banana, plant milk, chia seeds, cinnamon, ginger, coconut flour, and sunflower seeds. It came out a bit too moist, but delicious. I'm gonna test it again to get the ratios right. For dinner, I simply nibbled on some raw bell pepper and cucumber and enjoyed a simple chia pudding with goji berries, prune puree, some molasses, mango yogurt, and apple slices. Boy, it was so awesome to feel good in the evening. Even though I'd been up almost since 4 a.m., I didn't feel tired at all at 9:30. I did my evening stretching, a bit of reading, and went to sleep at around 11 p.m. Usually at 10 is the latest for me. And I was up at 5, feeling rested, got up, finished the script, and did some schoolwork as well before everyone else got up. In conclusion, at the moment I think that I'd rather not make a 3-day fast anytime soon, but I'll probably continue with weekly 24 or 36-hour ones to give my digestion the much needed rest and boost my energy and health in general. Did I lose any weight? First, it was not my intention to lose weight, but evidently one loses some if not eating for 3 days. As I don't have a habit of weighing myself, I totally forgot to take the number before the fast, but did that on the second, third, and fourth morning. I think I might have lost about a kilo, maximum a kilo and a half, if taking the previous 36-hour fast into account as well. However, this will come back once you start eating. Of course, if you start with more to lose, you'll also lose more and probably could go on for longer. Don't forget to go to the Fasting 101 video for crucial information before you attempt any longer fasts not to harm yourself. If you have fasted yourself, I'd love to hear about your experience in the comments below.